Hey, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati, thanks for tuning in on this fine day in February. Now, I was a little bit disgruntled by the rain today, but then I reminded myself it's not snow. Thank you, God. But yeah, hey, winter's on the way out. Spring is coming. Things are looking good. But hey, got a good show for you today, but just a couple of things, I do mental health work, and I had an author, a writer, as a client. And I asked him, I said, why do you write novels? And he said, because kidnapping people and making them act out my make-believe worlds is probably illegal. So, and then another time, I went into the library, and I was going to be out of town for a while. So I was checking out 50 books. And the librarian said to me, are you sure you want to do this? You don't want to be overdrawn. Okay, but look, a serious note. Before we start today, if you're a praying person, I ask you to offer a prayer for my friend Annie. She's got some issues. I'm not going to go into it in detail. But oh my gosh, what a sweet, wonderful woman, and her husband is one of my best friends. And they could, if you mention her in your prayers or just send good thoughts, I will be very, very grateful. Okay, I appreciate that. But hey, again, got a really cool guest today, somebody I've had on before. Thrilled to have him back. But hey, Street Talk and Other Stuff, you stick around. We will be right back. So.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now, bring home select VX and L Series tractors for 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months. Contact your Kubota dealer for details.
Your home runs on hot water. From the kitchen, to the bath, to the laundry. So Rheem offers a wide variety of water heaters, from traditional models to ones smart enough to tell you how much hot water is available. On second thought, perhaps the laundry can wait.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and Other Stuff, and I want to introduce my friend Danielle Worley. Danielle,
hello.
Nice to meet you. It's good to have you on. I had Danielle on a while back. Now, Danielle's pseudonym, is that the proper phrase?
I think so, pen name, pseudonym.
Okay,
yep.
Pseudonym is Lucy H. Delaney, because she is an author of teen romance novels. Type
And
thing.
more,
And more,
literature.
and more. Okay, well, that's what we want you to tell us about, okay? But hey, before we, it's just good to see you, you know?
Good to see you.
Haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to be back.
Yeah,
Good to be
I don't
back.
think I've seen your face in person since the last time I was here, but
I think
see you
that's
on
true.
TV.
So yeah, but I see your stuff on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
So, but okay, well, tell people a little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about me. I am an author. I do women's literature. That's kind of my specialty. And I am Pacific Northwest, born and bred. And I love it here. So each one of my books has a vignette or something for the Pacific Northwest in it. This whole series is set in Leavenworth and Wenatchee. And it's similar to Girl in Pieces, which is a super popular book right now that brings awareness to self-harm and self-injury and girls specifically who are dealing with that.
Okay, so one of your books deals with this issue that a lot of teenagers go through, which is self-harm, self-injury, cutting, I guess you're probably talking about. Which book is that, by the way?
This is the Gia's Sonatas, the series, and all three of the books are different pieces and portions of Gia's life and what she goes through. And I advocate for abused and neglected kids, primarily who are in the foster system, but also just who are on the fringes, not abused enough to have the state step in, but are traumatized enough to have severe emotional and mental health issues because of it. So I tried to bring awareness to that and help people understand why some people do what they do because of what has happened to them in their past.
Okay, so what motivated you to go this route, to start writing this type of book? What was the internal thing that said, hey, this is how I can address this and do something about it?
Well, I have always loved writing. The very first book that I ever had an idea for was way too complex for me to write at the time, so I got about a third of the way through it and realized that I didn't have the skill set that I needed to do it. And my first thought was, well, romance is easy to write. It has a beginning, middle, and end. There's
easy for you, maybe.
There's
I love him. So he put his arms around me and kissed me tenderly on my lips.
It's pretty easy. See, you did it. You're great. You be a bestseller.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
A new career for me. So
But so it was easy to write. It could build my craft. I could do things with my skill set while I was in there. But what I realized is I want more depth to my stories. So I started to highlight agencies and organizations that were helping some of the social issues that we have today. So there's suicide prevention, there's STD awareness, there's CASA, which is for advocating for kids in foster care.
Court-appointed special advocates.
Yes, court-appointed special advocates, yes.
Got a good friends who are very involved in that
Thank
program,
you.
So, yeah.
Thank you, we need them. But so that's where romance was easy, and then the next thing that I did was Gia's Secrets and the Gia Sonata series, because again, it's still just a story. It's a heart-wrenching story, but it has a beginning, middle, and end. There's no intricate, psychological thriller details or anything that you have to come up with. So that's where Gia's Sonata came from, and again, trying to bring light to some of the issues that are out there.
Okay, well, I don't know if you want to get into this at all, but is any of this kind of autobiographical, or is there stuff you've experienced in your life that you want to express to people to help them understand what?
Yes. Yep. I grew up in unsafe homes, and for different reasons or whatever, and people do what they do, and you don't know why they do what they do, and as they get older, they might change their minds about some of the things that they do. But my childhood, there were a lot of decisions made that hurt me and traumatized me, and so it took a long time to process all of that.
Sure, I would imagine.
And along the way, I had really, really good people, and that's what we've learned with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. They're ACEs. When children experience them, it can produce mental and physical health issues for their entire adult life. And so I tried to combat the ACEs by being a positive role model in people's lives. What the studies have shown is one safe person in an abused or neglected kid's life, one safe person for 10 minutes can change their ability to be resilient and overcome the obstacles in their life.
That's cool.
So
really cool.
Being a lunch buddy at a school or doing something like that. So I wanted to advocate and help, and I kind of lost track of the question a little bit.
You're doing fine, though.
I'm rolling with it.
No, you're doing good. We were talking off camera before that children who grow up in some abused homes suffer the same level of anxiety and stress that did the concentration camp victims.
Yes.
And that's just, I mean, to think, just doggone thing,
It's
to think
the
about
stay.
things like that is horrible, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
But it's happening in our society, and it's, you know, when I was a sex crimes child abuse detective, you know, you see these things firsthand, and I can understand why you want to help people. You know, it's interesting that people in the helping professions, which I would consider you in doing this, often come from dysfunctional childhoods themselves, and the reason they get into what they do is to help other people not experience what they did or help them recover from what they've experienced. So
Yes.
good for you, girl.
Thank you.
know,
And
good.
also in honor of the people who were safe and good people in my life. There were a lot of good, safe family people. There were a lot of good, safe school teachers,
True.
paraeducators, all of those people that were good and helpful there. So
Yeah.
you can make a difference, and you do. You do make a difference. You're helping kids if you
Yeah,
want.
very true, very true. I mean, even simply, you mentioned lunch buddies. This is something my wife did for years, and she made a major impact on those children. I mean, it wasn't just going to meet them for lunch. I mean, she would say, well, so-and-so's coming over our house today, and we're making cookies, you know? I mean, this is very much what my wife did. She had a big heart, that woman, so I don't know why she married me.
You needed a lot of
I
help.
think she said, this guy needs help too. So, all right, so that book you said you started that you didn't feel you had
Ready.
the skill set to do, have you gotten back to it?
So it is actually my current work in progress.
Okay.
I wrote The Big Y is my most recent fiction book, and it is inspired by the Big Y restaurant that's here. I met the original owner. She
Really?
wanted
Okay,
to.
well, here, let's go ahead, put her here. Get her
So
out there,
I'm
yeah.
super proud of The Big Y. It is more psychological. It's literary. It's like an homage to the seasons. I love the seasons here in Central Washington, but it plays with time. It's not really quite a time travel, but
Yeah.
you don't know exactly when or who each chapter is about until you get further into the story. So it was so fun to write and put together and piece together for people to try to figure
Okay,
out.
so give us just of this book here a little bit. What's the plot? What are people?
So the plot and the premise is it's the winter in Central Washington, and there is a restaurant, the Big Y restaurant, at the edge of a ranch and resort.
Okay.
And it's the middle of night. There's actually a freak storm in the middle of February, and strangers show up at this restaurant. Well, one of the strangers that's there happens to go into labor, and she doesn't want to be going into labor, but she is going into labor. And so these strangers have to come together to help her until aid can get there, which is going to be a while. Of course, no cell phones work, so nobody can call anybody except for the one landline that they have that's on the phone with the medics.
What's a landline?
Right.
So this baby is coming, babe.
Yes, the baby is coming, and all of these people have to work together. And as the night progresses, they are not strangers.
Yeah, wow, I
And,
would imagine not. That's something that really brings people together, is delivering a baby.
Baby.
So, you know.
Yes. So, and then as the story unfolds, you find out just how interconnected these so-called strangers really were to each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun, and the last reveal at the end, nobody has predicted yet. So I'm proud that I got it all the way to the end without anybody guessing
All
that
right.
piece.
Well, we'll have to look into that one.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
So, okay, but getting back to that book that you started, is that's your current project,
That is
right?
my current project.
Okay.
It is the idea for it evolved from the passing of my grandpa and watching the movie P.S. I Love You. So it is.
I missed that one.
Oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful romance.
Is it a chick flick?
It is. But yes, it's a super sad.
I'll have to
You
trade
just
with my
have
wife.
to
We'll watch that, and I'll get her to
Yes.
watch, some deep, dark
Action,
police drama.
something.
So.
It's a fair trade. It's totally worth it.
It is.
But yeah, so actually in P.S. I Love You, the husband passes away and leaves letters to his wife.
Oh, okay.
And I watched that just after my grandpa had passed away. So and they say your first book is cathartic, because you're trying to work through some of your own issues. So I do, now that I'm looking back at it, that was in 2009. So I'm coming back to it now, almost 15 years later or whatever it is. Right. I see how I was trying to process the grief and the loss that I was going through.
And it's probably a different book now than you originally intended it to be.
Yes, I had to change characters because originally my main character was male, and as my writing has evolved, I am a women's literature author. Okay. So I couldn't have, to be true to who I've become as an author, I couldn't have a male character, so I had to change everything around.
Who wants to read about men? I mean, we know all about those guys. There's no complexity to men, you know?
No, you guys, yeah.
Okay, well, look, we're talking with Danielle Worley, a.k.a. Lucy H. Delaney. She is a author who has been writing for quite some time. You can see some of her books here, but we're going to talk more with her about some specific stuff when we get back. So, hey, Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Okay, we're talking with Danielle Worley, a.k.a. Lucy H. Delaney, and written a number of books, particularly about issues that young people go through, kind of in the romance genre.
Women's literature.
Women's literature. Okay, great. I stand
feelings,
corrected.
Deep feelings. It doesn't just have to be a romantic feeling, just feels.
Okay, all right. Who do you want to read your books? Who's your target audience here, besides everyone who's willing to pay for that?
Right, so my target audience are voracious readers. I like women who read books that they want to feel their feelings, or maybe it's hard for them to feel their feelings, and so they want to be able to escape into a place where those feelings can be sorted out at arm's length.
Okay.
So those are my ideal readers, young women, older women, middle-aged women. That's kind of my ideal reader. The Big Y is the least, women's literature that I've written, but I identify with the lady characters that are in there. But I think I did some really good strong men in that one too.
Okay,
but just going past the surface level conversation, going past the, how are you doing? Fine, and leaving it there.
Sure.
It's digging and drilling into what makes people tick, why they do what they do, why they feel what they feel, and what comes out of that. So anybody who's really interested in thoughts and feelings and perceptions, I think is going to enjoy it. And also people who want to support organizations and causes that are doing good work in the world. romance series that I don't have here today, I have in the back of it organizations that are doing the help with the issues that
Sure.
I've brought up in that. So, and they're safe books to give to your teenage kids, to your middle school kid. Maybe middle school might be a little bit too much. To, you know, all of your family members. I don't use profanity in any of my books.
I gave The World According to Garp to my daughter when she was still in elementary school.
Well, so maybe, yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
middle school. I mean, if they're what they're watching these days, it would
And
probably
a
be
good
fine.
friend of mine, we were kind of the godparents for her daughter. They were scared to death of the book. No, but that's good. But okay, have you heard back from any of the people who've read your books? What kind of feedback have you gotten?
My favorite are when I make people cry. That's just my favorite. When they say that the
I read your book and I burst into tears. Oh, that makes me so happy.
I know, like I did it. I got to their
Yeah.
feelings.
Well,
Or
you're right. I
also the
understand.
ones where there's a character that they just despise because that means that there is a personality in that book that is so strong
Right,
that they
right.
have a reaction to it.
Right.
So those are my favorite responses that I get are people who feel a big feeling because of the story or
Did
the
you remember
person.
anything specific that somebody came back and said? I mean, do people contact you directly, or is this?
I'm not that.
Facebook
I'm not
feedback?
that big yet. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay, all right.
I have reviews and then people who've responded to me personally through Facebook messages
cool.
or whatever
All right.
that have said, it's hard to get through the Gia series. There's some really dark and traumatic stuff that happens to this
This one
kid.
here, right?
Yes. And so it's hard to get through it. And I have had people say that they don't want to go into the next book because it's dark and it's sad. But there is the grand finale. There is hope in it. It's
Okay.
not just all dark and dreary for
You're
this girl.
intriguing me now. But you said earlier when I asked who your target audience was, you said women.
Yeah, well, hey, you can read it too. I mean, you have worked and advocated for safety for
Big time.
women too.
Yeah,
so
that's
this
been my life's work.
Yeah,
you know,
and what's nice about it is Girl in Pieces. Kathleen Glasgow is the author for that. It's the best bestseller by far for ever in this genre, bringing awareness to why people start to self-harm.
Okay, and what's that book again?
Girl in Pieces.
Girl in Pieces.
Yes,
Okay.
and I've never topped her on the rankings yet. I've been up to number 7, but Kathleen Glasgow's got the market on that one.
Okay, I'll have to check those out.
It's so great. You want to, I mean, just like Gia, you want to wrap up these girls and take them home and keep them safe, and yeah. So it's heart-wrenching, but it's a good read.
I
if you
gotta
want
be
to deal
careful
with
of
that.
my emotional resources. Okay, so let's say somebody's watching now and they're thinking, what do you want to say to them to say, hey, look, get the book. Get the book.
So if you like Central Washington, if you like our seasons that are here, get the Big Y. You can enjoy all of the seasons and the different changing seasons that are here, and the characters evolve here. Gia's Sonata. If you want to support a local author, I am a small business. That's another reason. If you're trying to find a gift for somebody who's in the area and likes the area, these are great books that represent our area. If you just want to have a book that is more than just entertainment, that there's a little bit more to it.
Right. Something that's got a message behind it that can maybe even inspire someone to do something.
Yes.
You know.
Yep.
Did you ever read anything by a gal named Tori Hayden?
I don't think so.
Remember her name? She's an educator. She wrote a book called One Child, and she always took on the hard kids.
Yeah.
And I read that book. This young girl that was just angry and violent. She's like 5 years old. Very disruptive, but coming from an abused home. And after I read that book, I literally went out in my driveway in the freezing cold and said, please, God, help me help somebody. But that's the kind of thing you're looking for with your books too, right? To inspire that kind of, feeling.
to do something. It feels overwhelming. I have a starfish necklace that I like to wear. There's a starfish story where look out on the beach and there are so many starfish that are dying and you can only throw one or whatever back in. Everybody can do something to help, and it's heartbreaking when it doesn't work and you've put in heart and soul and time and it doesn't work, but don't let that stop you from doing the good.
Because you never know. You never know. You may deal with 100 people who don't respond, and there may be just one in there that actually is going to connect, and that's the person you're working for. So, all right, cool. All right, so
my other books?
No, yeah, if you want to. I was going to say, what's your favorite? I kind of got a feeling you're going to say.
My favorite right now is The Big Why, because it was just so fun to put together and to like try to make people wonder who is who, and little clues that are all through it that you can like pull out and think that you know what's going on, and then it actually is different than what you thought. It was very fun to write, to surprise people.
Now, when people who read it, are they going to recognize the Big Y Cafe?
Kind of. It's not. It's more set in Clallam, where that big buffalo field is, or on your way over to Clallam, they have like the bison ranch or whatever. That's where
that's
in my
basically
head.
Yeah,
that's where the ranch and resort is. But it's like the Big Y Cafe was the inspiration for it. I drove past it in the wintertime and I wanted to write a story about it.
Did you have any connection with the Big Y people?
No, not at all. No, I've thought the owner, when I was doing a book signing up at A Book for All Seasons in Leavenworth, the original owner, she came in because she wanted to know who wrote the book. so I got to meet her.
Yeah, so the beginning of the book says, everything here is fictional, has no relation to anything that you might connect to, or that kind of stuff. So, well, cool. All right, well, we're talking with Danielle Worley. Now, again, the name she writes under is Lucy H. Delaney. Okay, now if you look up Lucy Delaney, you're going to find
there's a different Lucy
kind
Delaney.
of a sports hero or something.
Oh, I know there was an abolitionist who was Lucy Delaney.
Yes, there was an abolitionist as well. So you want to look up Lucy H. Delaney, but you can go to Amazon. Your book's on Amazon. But hey, we got to take a quick break. We're going to come back and say goodbye to Danielle in a minute. But hey, street talk and other stuff. We will be right back. So.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can just
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
The day after I met her, I called and asked her to go on a date with me, and we came to Abby's Pizza for our first date.
Eating it across from each other, I'll never forget it. This place is special.
It's barbecue chicken pizza season at Abby's Legendary Pizza, baby. Featuring our flavorful pizza sauce and a 3-cheese blend, layered with BBQ sauce, chicken, and onions. Order your hot and fresh feast now at abbys.com, a legendary pizza tradition.
Okay, we're back. I want to say thanks, Danielle, for being here. Appreciate it. Now, Danielle is going to be at the bridal show this weekend at the Town Toyota Center, so you can check her out there. But hey, I want you to thank you for tuning in. And Annie, I love you, dear. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability.
Athletes. Today you'll meet a 5-star guard at a rising powerhouse in Missouri, and also a versatile playmaker in Arizona. You'll hear from the daughter of an NBA legend, and we'll also stop in Las Vegas to interview the stars of G League Ignite. Plus, former Pro Bowler and current NFL executive Troy Vincent will share some wisdom in this week's Journey to Greatness. That's all coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to the show. I'm Charles Davis. Branson, Missouri has long been known as a family vacation destination, but it's now also